received a communication request from Dr. Phineas Wells.
Aha, there you are. Hale and hot. How are you feeling, by the way? I lost... What you saw in Emerald Vale is happening all across the colony. Food shortages, lack of supplies, and basic necessities. We're dying. The chairman, the minister, and all their lackeys on the board are to blame. The Hope has some of the brightest minds Earth ever sent us. If we can revive the Hope's colonists, they can help us undo the board's mistakes. They can help us set things right. You need to get to Stellar Bay on Monarch. I have contacts there. They'll help me, help us, find the chemicals to revive your fellow colonists. Gladys Kelly, lovely woman, runs a cozy little black marketing outfit on the Groundbreaker. She can get you a nav key to land on Stellar Bay. Strictly speaking, Monarch is a moon, terraformed badly, and almost completely lawless. You'll love it. Captains don't fly their own ships, you see. Your navigation terminal handles the, navigation. Think of a nav key as a set of flight instructions. The board's been confiscating nav keys for Stellar Bay, so we must rely on unconventional means of acquisition. Hence, Miss Gladys Kelly. Without a skip drive, good luck. You'll be dead before you make it to the nearest star. Look, I admire your optimism, but the sad truth is you're stuck here. You, me, and the rest of this colony. We're all skating precariously around the edge of oblivion together. None of us are leaving Halcyon alive, so we may as well make it a better place, and we can start by reviving the Hope. Excellent. I'll send her a wireless. Let her know you're coming. By the way, I gave Captain Hawthorne a disguise apparatus of my own design, cutting-edge technology years ahead of its time. I call it the Holographic Shroud. I'm sure it will prove remarkably useful to you. You'll find it in the captain's quarters. Marvelous device. I'm quite proud of myself. The shroud changes the user's appearance to mimic that of another. It has limits, first-generation technology, you see, but promising. Exciting to see it in use at last. Very simply, the holographic shroud uses biometric information contained on standard identity cartridges to generate a holographic projection around you. Excellent. I'll count. And remember, don't trust the board. They'll try to win you over with promises of wealth and power, but it's a lie. The board's only interested in filling their own pockets. If we don't put a stop to them, they're going to run this colony to the ground.
Transmission ended. If you are ready to depart, please select a destination on your navigation terminal. We've arrived at the Groundbreaker.
Can we talk? Hey, Captain. I heard that Groundbreaker's got a real good engineer. A lady named Junlei Tennyson? I was thinking that maybe I ought to meet her. If you got time to swing us by, I mean. I don't got much experience fixing actual spaceships. I bet you a can of Borston beans she could teach me all manner of stuff. Thanks, Captain. I'll be sure to make it worth your time. Did you want to talk about something else? Just checking your ship, Captain. Hey, Captain. I'm in space.
That's not the point. This half would just...
Hey, no offense, but I don't think this walking salt tuna can's gonna appreciate you interrupting.
Keep talking, Millstone. See what happens. Now's not a good time. I'm dealing with a problem here.
So, go space yourself. Problem solved.
You must really want a truncheon through your teeth. This ain't a show. Move along. Do what you want. I'm done here.
Whatever you heard, it's all true. I had this foreman, right? Guy never liked me, always trying to get a rise out of me. But I keep my chin up, right? Be the bigger man, I tell myself. He's a Spacer's chosen man, though. So when the Chosen beat my Rangers the other night, my foreman comes swaggering up with his head full of boasting. That's when I broadsided him with a tossball stick. Yeah. Look, this was a long time coming. Guy thinks he can push me around because he's some sky-high foreman, and I'm just a back bay's dock worker. Well, former dock worker. Guess I just tendered my resignation. Enjoy my freedom. Scrounged together enough bits for a 0G. Other than that, can't say as I do. Hey, not for nothing, but I saw you wander out of that ship over there by the dock. Wouldn't happen to be yours, would it? Captain of the Unreliable. You're like something out of a serial drama. Hey, I don't want to talk your ears off, guessing you got places to be. I appreciate your time. Felix Millstone. Pleased to make your acquaintance. See you around, boss.
Hey, I saw that. What do you think you're doing? Just don't make more paperwork for me, all right?
Hey, carry on.
We move cargo 60 hours a day, and half of it's 3
You learn to keep your eyes to yourself at night job. Nobody wants you looking close in their company. Just arrived? Head over to...
Customs and inspection, right this way!
Identification. Captain Hawthorne, you said. Let me apologize in advance. I'm about to ruin your day. According to your ship's record, you've been flagged by the board. Your ship will be impounded until such a time as they see fit to lift it.
But we've hardly been out of Edgewater long enough to get in trouble.
Now, hold on. This isn't the end of the world. Probably. You'll want to take it up with Udom Bedford, our board representative here on... His office is located along the starboard wall of the promenade. Shines like a Byzantium commode. You can't miss it. Access to that information is above my pay. I shouldn't be mentioning it, but what the hell? This here, impounding your ship, it doesn't happen much. The board knows we don't take kindly to their interfering in our operations. If I had to take a guess as to why, you must have riled up someone important. You take the starch out of them, well, you won't hear any Oh, and if you're headed that way, would you mind doing me a favor? Wanda Dorset over in sickbay, tell her the shipment's not in yet. It's not coming in anytime soon, and if she'd be so obliged to get off my ass about it. Much. Is there anything else I can help you? The fence. You'll find her in the rest and go, on your left when you enter the promenade. Make sure you bring an empty belly. Most places are on the promenade deck. Big door yonder, straight through security. There's a bar on the starboard side. I got a preference for the Lost Hope myself. Talk to... You need anything else? Maybe. Most of the shipping traffic in the system passes through Groundbreaker. Every couple. Two biggest operations are the board. That is, Halcyon Holdings and Sublight Salvage. But there are independent operators around the promenade deck. Most of those jobs are going to take you off station, though. Commandant, Chief Junlei might have an errand needs running. She's all tied up trying to...
No kidding? I'd love to get a look at this old girl's innards. I bet the real twin...
If you're thinking to make a career here, don't waste your time. Full-time jobs on Groundbreaker? Are you pulling my leg? Goes like this. Back on Earth, before the crossing, the powers that be were selling off stakes in distant star systems they thought had potential. A bunch of companies decided to throw in together and form the Halcyon Holdings Corporation, then buy up the rights to this here colony. That group's what we now call the Board. Sitting around drinking whiskey and smoking cigars, yeah, probably. Yep, Groundbreaker's the only real independent port. Aside from us, there's just tramp freighters and Wildcat. Seems like every year the board's offices get bigger and their ships take up more of the landing base. Groundbreaker was one of the original colony vessels. Once everybody'd been de-thawed and dropped dirtside, the original crew of the Groundbreaker decided they rather liked the space. I guess that was the start of our independent spirit. Now, here we are. Glad to help. Sublight gives me the creeps. I've known folks who went to work for them and just vanished. They're on the promenade run by a woman named Lilia Hagen. I'm only telling you so you know to avoid them. All right. He's friendly enough unless you speak ill of the board. Get the sense he doesn't care for Groundbreaker much. Not that he would, being a board man and all. He's our liaison. They can't abide an independent township, especially not one they gotta depend on. We're the first and last stop out of this colony. All their interstellar freighters come through us, and we skim a few bits off the top in manifest processing fees with every one. Folks around here will bluster that the board hates our freedom, but really, they know we can stop their out-system shipments anytime we like, and that... It's a delicate balance, right? We could cancel their freighters' docking privileges in retaliation. They got assault cruisers, gunships, and a handful of mining operations at their fingertips. We push them too hard, maybe they decide we'd be better in 10 trillion little pieces. Or they cobble together a new Groundbreaker and put us out of business.
The board wouldn't do that.
It's a tough line to walk, no doubt about that. But we may do all right. So far. Sure thing. Be seeing you.
I picked up this weird signal the other day. It was coming from Monarch.
Here we go again. No one lives on Monarch. It's a wasteland. You were hearing things.
No. Seriously, there was a lot of static at first, but then this voice said his name was Graham?
Graham, right. Broadcasting on a dead world full of monsters. Now I've heard everything.
This is Halcyon News. We interrupt your regularly scheduled advertisement for the following story. The board would like to remind spacers and other travelers that passage to...
Rizzo's Purple Berry Crunch, Triple Flakes, and Purple Berry flavored Power Nuggets. Now with 12% more crunch.
If you're short on bits, you can work off your tab.
Seeking relief from the heat? Till Junlei gets those radiators fixed, I've got the next best thing. I hear tell some folk down in the townships are getting offered early retirement. Who'd think of such a thing? What would you do with all the time? The radiators, they're fucked 10 weeks. And we're all sweating buckets wondering when the powers that be are gonna get around to fixing it. Couldn't say, and I wouldn't be pouring drinks professionally if I could. All I know is we're cooking in our own juices here, and it's only gonna get worse. They're supposed to gather up all the heat the systems generate and vent. Instead of the heat going where it ought, though, it seems to be blowing straight down the promenade. Weeks? I lost track. Too law-damn... Engineering. Chief Junlei Tennyson, to be precise. She runs this heap. Best she can, anyway. Don't know what's got her dragging her heels, but I wish she'd hurry it up. That's not for me to say. But if you're feeling the urge toward helpfulness... Stellar Bay proper? Tough to say. The board recalled all the nav keys about 10 years back when the corps pulled back to Terra 2. It's overrun with beasts, I heard. Big ones. Kinda chew your face off for fun. Might all be board propaganda, though. If you're aiming to get to Stellar Bay, you're gonna have to get your hands dirty. The board don't like them that truck with Monarch. But I ain't the one you ought to be asking. Try Gladys on the promenade. She'll fix you up. There's nobody who knows more about the station's guts. Any system you could name, June's crawled around inside and made it better. She doesn't come around here often, though. Don't see her as much of a drinker. Too straight-laced for that.
You still haven't paid for...
This is Halcyon News. We interrupt your regular...
You know, I got a full line of weapon modification.
Even the air costs money here.
I was wondering what they do with their waste. I guess they just chuck it down here. Where's it all go?
Go back to Byzantium, you gold-plated bastard.
I'm just gonna hang in the back and...
Ah, yes. Wheeler messaged me you were coming. He must be the captain of the Unreliable, a vessel that used to be... Has something happened to my favorite... Oh no, this is terrible. My dear friend, what devilry is this? In whose miserable fever dream am I trapped? I impounded Alex's ship, not yours. Well, I guess it's yours now if you're captaining it. It's a game we play, he and I. I ask him to turn in Phineas Wells, he tells me he will soon. I impound his ship. He explains why he can't give me the info right now. I ask him to turn in Wells. Around and around we go. Right. You're going important places, I'm sure. Big, exciting, important places. There. I've removed the flag from your ship. I'm terribly sorry for the inconvenience. However, before you go, Alex promised to tell me the location of Phineas Wells. I'm sure you've seen his wanted posters all over the colony. Did Alex tell you where... You haven't read the posters? He's a terrorist, a thief, a madman. It's really in the colony's best interest that we stop him before he does further harm. Well, Alex knew, or he said he did. And you have his ship. Maybe he kept some records around. That's... well, that's just terrible news. Law, what am I going to do now? The board will have my head. Oh, I'm sorry. This is terribly unprofessional of me. Is there anything else I might help you with? It's personal business, I'm afraid. Miserably, terribly personal. Information on the whereabouts of Phineas Wells would go a long way. It's... well, it's my white whale, I suppose. It's fine. Really, it's perfectly fine. Now, if you've nothing else, please see yourself out. Be my guest. I'm the certified representative of the board's interests here on the Groundbreaker. I have few complaints.
Oh, good law! Who'd want to go to... No. Emphatically no. Best to be clear, I believe. Ugh. Law, but it's miserable. My underarms are damp. Chief Tennyson is supposedly looking into the cause. Deplorable conduct. My superiors will be hearing about it. You can be certain of that. Oh, you've noticed my friends. Wonderful. They're here to keep the peace, of course. Precisely. Groundbreaker makes much ado about its independent status, and so resents any... When the alternative is board guards at their gates, yes, I do. They don't see it that way. A luxury stateroom, reserved for Oh, good law, of course not. As this office is the primary embassy for the board on Groundbreaker, corporate bylaws specifically...
Have you seen this man? Reward offered for information leading to the capture of wanted terrorist Phineas Wells. Report any sightings to your local board embassy.
This is XF411s? And an old Yakita 37?
Junlei Tennyson. I'm captain around here, but chief to my friends. Hope you don't mind the formal introduction. Good for you. Hope you scared some sense into those bureaucrats giving you trouble. Just so we understand each other, I'm the final word on the ship. The Mardits, the crew, the engineers, their family. I hope there won't be any... At ease. Nice to see an outsider with... So what brings you to Groundbreaker? I'm curious, even though 9 times out of 10 the answer's just... Statistics don't lie. We see a lot of the same faces coming and going. Most of them board spies and corporate sprats. Makes it hard to trust outsiders.
What? I didn't think you just... I was just thinking. I haven't got much experience working with actual...
Junlei is...
Okay. Since you run a whole space station, I was wondering if... Well, maybe you could...
I'd be happy to make the time, Parvati. You can ask me anything.
great. I'll do that then. Messages. Couldn't have done it without your moral support, Captain.
Now, if there's nothing else, there... Groundbreaker's radiators need replacement parts. Only the board has access to new parts, and I won't let them swindle me in. They want us to sweat, thinking that'll soften me up for a bad faith deal. The board isn't helping, and my resources are spread thin. If I don't get those radiators back online... Reasonable, huh? That's the best. According to my grandmother's old schematics, the parts we need should be in the back bay. Sorry, I forgot not everyone knows this. The back bays are on a lower deck, long abandoned, and a haven. Good.
This is Halcyon News. We interrupt your regularly scheduled advertisement for the following story.
Who the... Hey, McRed, were you expecting any company? Look at this ripe piece of meat. Time to feed the...
Is this what carbon monoxide poisoning looks like?
You came with the crew. Welcome. We got plenty of... I know this ain't a toy, neighbor from above. It's a cat...
That's right, sir. Just the...
Tennyson just keeps feeding the furnace, don't she? We're still playing with her last sacrifice out back. You don't just ask a king for a favor when you're standing in his court. Under its skin, this ship is all poison and darkness. You've got the run of the kingdom. Up those stairs you'll find... Ship got impounded. The crew and I racked up a... That's bureaucracy. Am I your dark reflection? Shit. You can...
Smells kind of like old Bess's outflow pipes.
You get that automech back? Craig wants it up and running.
I'm trying to think of a good name before I wake it up.
Don't give it a name. What are you thinking? Oh my god.
People don't like worms.
They're just telling...
My backside still smarts. Does everyone get branded when you join McRed's crew?
Nope. Your ass is a priceless canvas now that it's home to an original McRed.
I guess I'm honored.
Boss says you're all right.
It's so... cozy.
McRed gave me a taste of the good stuff. I've been drinking for days.
Careful with that shit. You'll end up as crazy as he is.
you think you're doing? Go on before I change my mind. Today's my birthday.
Oh yeah? Fuck your birthday.
This place is falling apart.
Can't spell groundbreaker without broken. Oh, wait.
Lay's gonna be pleased as pie when we show her these.
You've returned. Good work. I'll take those. I need you to head through the large door at the far end of engineering. Take the... There's a terminal in the back. Activate it. More than a few. Less than a... We were If every repair was a one-woman job, I wouldn't need an engine. You can flip...
Don't worry, Miss Junlei. We'll be super gentle with the ship. You don't got a thing to worry about.
I'm genuinely heartened.
The controls are in the back.
and killed a bunch of men. Bad news. Diagnostic methods were used from the heat, so they're not...
Unexpected.
Rocket throw!
In nearby units. Halt, searching.
Done. The temperatures are dropping. Stop by once you found your way out of there. Groundbreaker owes you thanks.
This is Halcyon News. We interrupt your...
My boards are returning to green. What a weight that is off my shoulders. The temperature should be dropping as we speak. If you've got time, I believe Edna has a comms issue that could use your attention. I've also authorized Dockham for... Frustrating. Everything down to the circuit boards is past warranties. Plus, there's no time to train my successor or document fixes in... You see any bite-sized Tennyson children running around? I didn't think. The next half of my heritage. I'll have to foster that talent from... Sure is. The Tennysons came... I was...
They must have been amazing people.
That means a lot. It was different knowing that I couldn't turn to anyone who could answer. Maybe you can see why I'm protective of Groundbreaker.
Oh, gosh. I don't know. I'm really just a...
Don't sell yourself short. It doesn't take a seat. We're always thirsting for help. I hope that was a joke, Captain. I gelded that thing years ago. You've got my... You're right, I don't. The board is after two things, bits and power, and they only get it by sticking their nose where... I like to think of myself as a nice person, but if that gaudy embassy of his was on fire, I might hold my breath a moment before activating the sprinkler system. The board wants control
Hey, you the one who fixed those radiators? Nice work. Me? No. We're going offline in 3, 2, 1.5. No. Wait. Our primary relay station's soon to be occluded by. The event's forecasted to last for months.
That'll put the whole system in a right dire situation.
We've got backup auxiliary relays, but the one currently in orbital range went offline some months ago. We can't spare people for routine maintenance. Yeah, I'm working on it. I finally got the chief to approve the budget for a diagnostic expedition. But allocating the personnel loss for sending a technical team to the relay station keeps getting denied by Junlei. I should say no, but what?
Hope you don't mind if I borrow that manual when you're done with it, Captain.
Oh, the relay station? I'm sure the station's got a stack of junk messages just waiting for me to... It's not like they're in high demand. Most tend to be
Warning, intruders will be... Oh, it's you.
It's a touch different from the ones I've seen. Shouldn't be so hard to get it patched up, though.
All beginning. Required in nearby unit.
He's dead, ain't he?
Huh? Oh, I am alert. We've arrived at the groundbreaker.
Heard from the lasses down on 22 that you did
Rizzo's Scribbleberry Punch. You got
Are you listening to me, Emperor?
C&P Vorstworth. It's not the worst unless it's Vorstworth.
Oh, neat! They got stuff in here I ain't seen in ages.
This is Halcyon News.
My comms... Thanks. Looking at the transmission logs, the relay hasn't received a single unencrypted message in the past 36 months. Well, whatever's the cause, the board and the Earth Minister will... Thanks again for saving my derriere. I secured quite the payment authorization.
If you're hungry, they're... You know what sprats are? Space rats. The laboratories of Spacer's Choice found a use for this limitless frontier resort. Sprat meat is plenty tasty. Absolutely not. Spratwurst... Legally? No. The terrafrying method was developed in between you, me, and this grinder. I've been through lean times. If there's one thing you learn on tramp freighters, it's how to make near anything at... Might be that this old space hand put a few words in the right ears. And could be that Spacer's Choice liked sticking it to C&P by R&Ding our own special meat. Terrafrying is a Spacer's Choice brand secret. A mix of 13 herbs and spices, plus just as...
Welcome to Sublight Salvage and Shipping. You the one flying? Sure you are. Miss Lily has been expecting you. Sure am. These days I stick to HQ and look after Miss Lilia.
So you're the new captain in town. I was hoping you'd make your way to my office. Lilia Hagen, CEO and Executive Director of a little advice. Before you start telling lies, get a feel. It's nice to see the Unreliable again. Useful ship. Hawthorne was my contractor. I'd recognize that leak. Is Ada still at the helm? I don't know how many times I told Hawthorne to... I have a salvage job for someone light on corporate ties with a...
Just like in the serials.
If you have a nav key to Stellar Bay, the job's yours. Interested? First, an embargo that's been active ever since the board pulled its forces off-world. Few regulations, plenty of freedom. And second, all the goodies that no one had time to pack. I like that initiative, but ease back on the throttle. Gladys at the Rest and Go might have what you need. If there's anything else, be quick. These days, the scrap business all but runs itself. Gives me the time to expand our interests into other sectors, where I can let my hair down. Our field is persuasive acquisitions. At least that's how my legal advisors tell me to phrase it. Not all of our salvage is abandoned when we find it. Sometimes it takes a polite Thank you. Hey, careful with the C word around here. I like to keep things above board, and that kind... Sublight occupies a legal blind spot. No one knows what we're licensed to do, and that gives our little business some freedom. But let's not tempt fate. Very. I like to think of myself as the last honest businesswoman in house. Ask. Be seeing you.
CNP, I can't believe it's not forced. It's unbelievable how good it is.
I'm not going anywhere, you hear? You can't keep me out of there.
Please don't make... now is there something... Take care.
Can't say I've seen you before. I take it, if you're here to better yourself, you'll have to wait. are having a spot of trouble with our delivery service. Did he now? The mouth on that man. I swear his late mother'd be ashamed. He must be referring to Irion. I'm sure the fool's gotten himself into another scrape. I'm beginning to wonder... I'd be grateful if you'd spare the time. We need his delivery soon as yesterday. Last he told me, he was taking a shortcut by Scylla, an asteroid in the You look out, though. The place is probably crawling with outlaws. Keep What? You...
Rizzo's purple berry punch. Raw flower.
Hail, Captain. Your return time is within 14% of the expected boundary.
Hey, Captain. Can I get your... So, Junlei and I have been talking some. Through messages, I got him here on my datapad, and she sent me a poem. One she wrote her... I don't know if I should read into it. Because poems are all symbolic and such, right? Oh, law. That's what's got me spooked. It's about this engine that's been shaking itself apart. Then this lady mechanic comes by and lays one hand on it. I don't want to get too hopeful, but I'm wondering if maybe she's the engine and I don't know where it's leading yet, or if I'm not much interested in physical stuff. Never have been. It's been a problem in the past. The folk who wanted to be with me back in the Vale, they... When folks start implying you're a little different from an automechanical, I guess I just needed to talk. I'm feeling a touch better. Thanks for hearing me out, Captain. I actually had another message from Junlei. I just couldn't work up the courage to open it. But I'm gonna change that. Right now. Let's see here. Talking about old friends, got to thinking... Isabel? Who's Isabel? They were... I don't know. Junlei talked about them like it was past, but how far in the past? 10 years? Last week? Captain, I'm feeling all mixed up right now. Could we maybe head to the Groundbreaker? Get some drinks at that bar there? The Lost Hope? Thanks, Captain. I'll be ready.